All right, let's plug in. In this explainer, we're going to decode the latest updates to the official rulebook for electricity, the 2023 National Electrical Code. But first, let me ask you something. What could a fish tank, an RV, and your phone charger possibly have in common? I know, it sounds like the setup for a really weird joke, but the answer is actually all about keeping us safe. And that's because they're all affected by the latest refresh to the rulebook for electricity. So, let's break down exactly what that means for you. First off, what even is the National Electrical Code, or NEC? Well, think of it as the master blueprint for electrical safety in the US. It guides pretty much everything, from how your house gets wired to how a skyscraper gets inspected. And it all boils down to one goal: preventing electrical disasters. And you know, this isn't some dusty old book that never changes. The code is a living document. This brand new 2023 edition has more than 80 changes in it. Why? Because our world is full of new gadgets, new technologies, and we're always learning more about how to stay safe. So let's bring it home, literally. How do these updates actually protect you and your family in your day-to-day life? A huge piece of the puzzle is something called GFCI protection. You've probably seen those little test and reset buttons on some of your outlets. That's GFCI, and it's your absolute #1 defense against getting a nasty electric shock, especially when you're just using normal everyday appliances. Now check this out, because this is one of the biggest changes. For years, GFCI was mostly for outlets near your kitchen sink and countertops, but the new code says, nope, that's not enough. Now it's required for all 125 to 250 volt outlets anywhere in the kitchen. We're talking the one for your toaster and even the one for your fridge. And this safety net isn't just for your home kitchen either. The new code specifically calls out places like buffet lines, coffee bars, and serving areas. It's basically closing a loophole to make sure you're protected anytime you're around places where food, drinks, and electricity are all hanging out together. And hey, remember that fish tank from the beginning? This is where you see just how detailed this code gets. Any outlet within 6 feet of an aquarium or even a bait well now needs that GFCI protection. It just makes sense, right? Water and electricity are a terrible combination. Okay, but it's really important to know the difference between our two safety heroes here. Think of it this way. GFCI protects you, the person, from shock. AFCI, on the other hand, protects your home from the dangerous electrical sparks or arcs inside your walls that can start fires. Both are absolutely critical, but they have very different jobs. Speaking of kitchens, have you ever looked at a brand new kitchen island and thought, wait, where are all the outlets? Well, that's not just a design choice. It's a direct result of the new code. And the reason why is heartbreakingly simple. It's all about keeping kids safe. The code was changed to prevent those horrible accidents where a small child grabs a dangling cord, maybe for a slow cooker or a deep fryer, and pulls that hot appliance right down on top of themselves. So now, outlets are generally not allowed on the sides of islands anymore. The code also got way clearer about the bathroom. It now defines this no-go zone for outlets, basically 3 feet out and 8 feet up from the rim of your tub or shower stall. But in a cool nod to modern tech, it also makes a special exception for a single dedicated outlet, like for one of those fancy smart toilets. Okay, let's shift gears now. We've talked about the home of today, but let's look at the home of the future, which is getting more and more electric every single day. So the rise of electric vehicles is a huge deal, but it brings a big challenge. How in the world do you add a super powerful EV charger to a home's electrical panel that was probably designed decades ago without having to do a crazy expensive upgrade? Well, the code's answer is something called an energy management system, or EMS. This thing is brilliant. It's like an air traffic controller for your home's power. It can automatically tell the EV charger to pause for a few minutes if you, say, turn on your electric oven. It juggles everything to make sure your system is never overloaded. It's a total game changer for making EVs more accessible. And this is where it gets really, really cool. The 2023 code introduces a new concept they're calling island mode. It's a new rule that officially recognizes that your EV can work in reverse. It can use that massive battery to actually power your house during a blackout. I mean, think about that. Your car could literally keep the lights on. But the NEC's reach goes way beyond our homes and garages. It pretty much follows us everywhere that we use electricity. Let's go back to that RV from the beginning. For the very first time, the code now says that those big 30 and 50 amp outlets you see at RV parks have to be weather resistant. It's a really simple change, but it makes life on the road that much safer when the weather turns nasty. And now from the highway to the high seas. You know, marinas are incredibly high-risk places for electricity. This diagram shows a new requirement for something called an equipotential plane. It's basically a hidden conductive grid that ties all the metal parts together near the water. This prevents deadly differences in voltage that can cause something called electric shock drowning. It's a complex fix for a deadly, serious problem. So after all of these updates, what's the big picture here? What does this all mean for the way we live with electricity? When you step back and look at it, it's pretty clear that the National Electrical Code is so much more than just a set of rules. It's this living, evolving blueprint that's making our homes safer with things like GFCI, that's adapting to incredible new tech like EVs, and it's protecting us in places we might never even think about. It really is the foundation for a safe electric future. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. As literally everything in our lives gets a plug, from our cars to our toilets, what new electrical frontier do you think the code is going to have to tackle next? What's the next big safety challenge that we haven't even imagined yet?